Good afternoon, HMS Bobcats. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to what I hope will be a great week for each and every one of you. On this week's Bob lesson, I've been doing this school counselor thing here for a hot minute, and that enables me an incredible perspective on students and human beings and what they struggle with, the problems to problem solve on in life, the things that cause us distress, the things that cause us anxiety, the things that cause us sadness, all of the negative emotions that I think unfortunately are part of the human condition, but also part of what we try to avoid in life. And as I've sat over the years and years and listened to students and processed with them and supported them and problem solved with them, um, I've noticed that a lot of them fit into one category or two categories, maybe. The category that a lot of things I think that we struggle with as human beings is struggling with things that we can't control. A lot of times that's life circumstances. A lot of times that is other people, whether that be people of authority over us, whether it be friendships, whether it be classmates, etc. A lot of times we struggle with things we can't control because I think as a human being, I know for me, if I have a problem or I have something that's not going good, I want to go brainstorm and I want to fix it and I want to make it right or I want to make it okay. And sometimes in life you can't do that, but sometimes you can. And that is kind of what today's Bob lesson is all about, is trying to dichotomize in life things you can control versus things you can't, and where your effort and energy should be. So I'm hoping you all get something awesome out of this, and I hope you all have a great.
All right, this week's Bob lesson, I'm going to be talking about controlling what you can control in life. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be Bob. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. And let's be a learner. All right, as I talked about in the intro, I've noticed a pattern the last couple of years of things or subjects or life situations of conversations that I get to have with you guys. Um, and I started to realize that a lot of things in life can be broken up into one of two categories. And those categories are things we can control and things we can't control. And it seems like a lot of things that bother us as human beings in life, no matter what age we are, fit into the category of things we can't control. And control is a thing as a human being, we want to be in control of situations because we feel safe when we're in control, because we feel like we can affect the outcome when we're in control. And not being in control is a very vulnerable and helpless feeling a lot of times for a lot of people. And so many of the conversations that I have end up in these categories of something's going on and it's just outside of their control, and it is so frustrating. And I try to keep a stance of figuring out right away what are some things that we can control and what can't we control. So I came up with a category here, and I just put some things in here that are common things when I'm thinking about you guys as students, things that may be going on in your life that you can't control, and things going on in your life that you can control. Let's start with the column on the right. These are typical things that the sooner we figure out we have no control over these things, and the sooner we figure out to put less time, effort, energy, and frustration into these things, and we start taking all that time, effort, and energy and putting it into the things on the left, probably the biggest one is other people. We cannot control what other people do in life. We cannot control whether those other people like us. We cannot control whether they are respectful or disrespectful to us. We cannot control whether they want to be friends with us. When we get to this category on the left, the only thing we can really do is control how we treat them and how we respond to them. Life circumstances. Like I talked about on previous Bob lessons, things in life that are unfair are going to happen. And many of these things that happen are outside of our control. They're just going to happen regardless. So we have got to release power and control and let those things be. This is a big one, how other people treat you. And this is kind of similar to the first one that I talked about. You cannot control how other people treat you. You can control how you respond. You can control how you treat them, but you cannot control how other people treat you. Your parents. A tough one that I deal with a lot is kids that have parents that are divorced, parents that are fighting, parents that aren't in their lives, parents that come and go out of their lives, and that's a tough one. Because we want our parents to be in our lives. I think every person wants that white picket fence, 2.5 kids and a dog, the perfect American family. Well, it just doesn't exist, folks. And we cannot control our parents and what they do, and that's a tough one because a lot of time parents have control over us. We cannot control whether other people like you, whether that be platonically or whether that be romantically. Again, the only thing you can do is show up, be your best version of yourself, treat people with respect, treat people nicely, and if somebody doesn't want you or doesn't want to be friends with you and you have respect for yourself, you just keep it moving. I was talking with some students last week, some 6th graders, and I said to the one person, I just don't think she wants to be friends with you, and that's okay. Surround yourself with people that do value you, that do like you for exactly who you are. The other things we can't control is our inherent abilities. Inherent abilities basically means our God-given, how we were genetically made. I can't control the fact that I am 6.5 feet tall. I cannot control certain things about myself. We just have to, as human beings, let that be, accept it, and focus on things that we can control. So this was just a short list of things that are outside of our control, and this list could be very much bigger. But I want you guys to spend some time and thought right now thinking about what are some things that have happened in my life that I have absolutely no control over. All right, conversely, what are some things that we can control? And this is where I always encourage people, I always encourage students to focus on these things because that's where real change can come from. How about our attitude that we bring to any given situation? You're going through a tough situation, your attitude can be very powerful, whether you believe things can turn around or things happen for a reason or it's all part of your plan or you got to roll with the punches sometimes. How about how we adjust to situations when things don't do well? Do we panic or do we take a deep breath and process the situation responsibly and take the time that we need to figure out what adjustment or how we are going to react or respond to any given situation that we are put in? How about how we treat other people? Getting back to the friendship thing, whether other people like us, either romantically or platonically, sometimes you can't control those things. All you can control is how you treat people, what kind of friend you are. Are you respectful? Are you kind? Are you caring? And if that other person doesn't reciprocate that, then maybe we need to surround ourselves with some other people. How about our work ethic? When it comes to school, are we working hard? Are we working hard to control what we can control? A lot of tough things in life require grit, perseverance, and a strong work ethic. How about our preparation? Are you taking your school serious right now? Are you taking your practices serious right now? We can prepare for tough situations to happen, and the more prepared you are, the better chance you are going to have success. How about controlling our schoolwork? So many times when I'm having these conversations with kids, it's like, you know what? Let's figure out things we can't control. You know, your home life might be a mess, your social situation might be a mess right now, but if you buckle down and put time, energy, and effort into your schoolwork, that's something you can control. Now, again, this is a very incomplete list, but the main point of this Bob lesson today is things happen in life. Separate the things that we can control from the things we can't, and let's put 95% of our effort, energy into things we can control. All right, we're on to this week's quote of the week, which is, gosh, this is one of my favorite. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond. Again, it's this thing we're talking about of things we can control versus things we can't control. All right, this week's Jelly Bean Question of the Week winners are Alex Bullock, Jay Tizzle, Kesley McGowan, Aiden Mays, Dakota Hurley. Come see me for some jelly beans after school. This week's Jelly Bean question of the week is, which vehicle is spelled the same backwards as it is forwards? If you think you know, put your answer into the Bob box by Thursday. All right, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School.
All right, this week's Jelly Bean question of the week winners. We only had a couple. Nice work, Crosby Bramlett and Evelyn Emery. The two letters that filled in the letters to make up the word was possession. So those letters were O and S. The big ones were the missing ones. The uppercase ones were the missing ones. Lowercase were the ones that were provided. All right, this week's Jelly Bean question of the week. What 5-letter food appears in the following sentence? After Jacob read Paul Hollywood's book, he was inspired to take up baking. If you think you know the answer, get your answer into the Bob box by the end of the week. Tune in next week to see if you are a winner. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at the Helena Middle School.